You are now listening to WSN, Wolf Sports Network, live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now an Odyssey station.
Live from Carrollton, Georgia, this is Sports Pack.
Home of the hottest takes and the best interviews in college radio.
Hold on, wait a minute. We need a little more energy. This is Sports Pack. Yeah, there we go.
Home of the hottest takes and debates.
There is no way I'm going to sit here and roll with Jared Stidham and Aiden O'Connell.
Richard.
There's just no way.
And the best interviews in college radio.
This is five-time Olympic medalist Alana Myers-Taylor.
This is Super Bowl champion quarterback Brad Johnson, and you're listening to Sports Pack on the Wolf Sports Network.
And the Wolves play here.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to another fantastic Thursday edition of Sports Pack. As always, I am Richard Reed, joined by Carly Pear, Jackson Schrader, John Howley, and Presley is currently shadowing the board, learning how John does all the ones and twos for our show. Also, shout out my guy Daniel behind the glass, holding it down on the TriCaster, controlling all these cameras for us. We appreciate you, Daniel, and all the rest of our TriCasters. As you see by the title, this is our last show before spring break, so we will not be here next week, but it's okay, because we're going to cover everything we can tonight to have you good for the entire week of sports next week. We got March Madness. We got UWG Athletics. We got NFL because the new league year has officially started, and we have a big-time NBA debate that you are not going to want to miss. But before we get into any of that, let me remind you, Wolf Radio and Wolf Sports Network are proud to help reduce the 21% of adults with low literacy skills. We are collecting new and gently used books for every UWG pre-K student monthly. Give today by visiting wolfradio.com/bookdrive. That is wolfradio.com/bookdrive. Are you hungry like a wolf?
Always.
Well, Dine West is committed to offering you, Schrader, a very diverse menu that accommodates all dietary preferences. I know you have some pretty weird food.
That's a big thing for me.
You got some food
I'm a gluten-free girly.
Well, they have gluten-free. They have vegan.
There we go.
They have multicultural options as well. Their menu changes daily, and you can view the weekly offerings for both East and West Commons at westga.edu/dinewest. That is westga.edu/dinewest. Now let's get into some UWG athletics.
As Widener rolls to the right, he's got some time. Everybody's down at the end zone. He heaves it, and it is caught for a touchdown.
We are one. Go Wolves.
Yep. It's springtime, y'all. Mm-hmm. It feels great outside. I don't know if you've been outside.
We are so back.
Oh, yeah, we're back. I don't know if you've been in your mom's basement all day or what, but if you have, you haven't been outside yet, step out, feel the air. It is amazing. The sun ain't set until around 7:30. Still plenty of time to soak it in, either after the show or while listening to the show. This is a beautiful day. Had a mix of some sunshine, a little bit of wind here and there. It was a little overcast. Some places even got some hail, some very weird weather. But that's just showing it's spring. But you know what else shows that it's spring?
What?
The fact that our softball and baseball seasons are in full swing here at UWG. And we've had some big-time games this week. Let's start with the game that was last night. On the road, up north in Kennesaw, Georgia, where my guy Jackson Schrader is actually from.
I am a Kennesaw kid.
Our softball team went on the road to take on the Conference USA Kennesaw State Owls, where they jumped out to a 5-0 lead in the second inning. Kennesaw bounced back in the fourth, making it 5-3. And then after a while, Kennesaw began to pull away, winning that game 10-7. It was a great game. We had some grand slams hit by some of our Wolves. It was just a great game overall, very entertaining for all those softball fans out there. But it's all right. It was an out-of-conference game. It wasn't the most important in the world. Our softball teams really had an up-and-down season, but one thing they showed last night, they can score some runs. But it's all right, because looking forward, we have our first ASUN conference matchup against Queens University, starting with a doubleheader tomorrow at 4, with the second game being at 6:30, and then on Sunday at the time is now to be determined. But there's another game on Sunday that will end out that triple header. So, Schrader, I want to kick it over to you.
Yeah.
What are some things you want to see from our softball team in order to win this first ASUN matchup?
Really, I mean, there's a lot to like about this softball team. Like you said, they can put up runs, and they can do it well, and they do it in almost every game they play.
Yep.
I really think the big thing that we're going to need to see is the bullpen really have success, because last night going into the 6th inning, we were up 7-3. We ended up losing on a walk-off home run in the 7th, 10-7. So we gave up 7 unanswered runs in 2 innings, which is not great. Not very good at math.
Doesn't look good.
Yeah, you will not win many games doing that. So, honestly, just if the bullpen can just have success, this team, I'm really confident going into ASUN play.
Carly?
Yeah, I'm really excited for this softball team. I mean, they've been up against some really tough opponents, so I don't think we can judge their capabilities just yet. They had a really strong start at the beginning of the season, so I'm ready for conference play to kick in.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. We also had another exciting game on the Diamond on Tuesday as our baseball team went on the road to Knoxville to take on the reigning national champions and number 2 team in the nation, the Tennessee Volunteers. Just barely lost that game 4-2.
So crazy.
Super exciting. Way closer than I expected. We talked about it a little bit on Monday's show. I didn't expect a game like this. John, I know you had the ability to watch some of that game. Walk us through what you saw.
I mean, it was a bullpen day, and really, I was quite surprised on how well we played this game. It being 4-2, even the commentator said this has been their toughest game all year. This now makes
crazy.
That's what we do.
Does that make us the number 3 team in the country?
I mean,
think
hey,
it does.
Tennessee's
How about
number
them
1.
Wolves? I tell you.
But it just came down to it was one mistake that made it from a 4-2 game to a 2-2 game. 2-2. But still, I was very proud of the team for what they did and really just taking it up there to Tennessee because I thought we were going to go up there and get spanked and, perhaps have Tennessee set a new NCAA record for most runs scored.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we dug deep and the bats were actually pretty good but we, came up just short.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking with my pastor, who's a big Tennessee fan, and he was like, well, you got to take into account, our pitcher only pitched 1 inning. And I was like, right back at you. We had a bullpen game, too.
Yeah.
And last time I was at a West Georgia game where they did a bullpen game. We gave up 17 runs to some tiny school up in North Georgia. I can't remember what their name is.
It ain't Shorter.
No, Young Harris. That's what it was.
Harris.
We gave up 17 to Young Harris, and last I checked,
remember that
Tennessee's
game.
a little better at baseball than Young Harris is.
I would think so.
This is a big loss, if that in a good way.
Yeah, I'm going to take this as a win just because,
absolutely.
For real.
4-2 against, again, bullpen game. We didn't even have our starting pitchers play in this game. So I'm really excited. I watched some of the highlights, and I think if Tennessee didn't get that home run off of us, I think we probably could have had the chance to beat them. But
definitely.
Upset alert.
I definitely think that
it was
was
there.
the
It was an
turning
upset
point in that
alert
game.
for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very interesting game. I'm very excited going into the rest of this baseball season because our baseball team as well starts ASUN conference play this weekend, just like our softball team with the at-home series against Queens University. So if you're in the area or want to see some good baseball, make the ride out here to Cole Field to check out our baseball team. Their first games are Friday with a doubleheader. Then they're closing out that series Sunday evening as well. Be sure to show up and show out for the guys. We got a lot of upside with this team. I'm very excited to see how far they go. And Carly, did you want to walk us through a few things about our UWG golf team?
Yeah, so both of our golf teams are in full swing this season.
Full swing.
Full swing,
Look at that.
all the things. Our women's golf team is actually headed to Gulf Shores this weekend for the Bama Beach Bash golf tournament hosted by University of Alabama at Birmingham. So they're going to be at the beach this week, so that's perfect with spring break. And our men's golf team is headed to Greenville, North Carolina for the ECU Intercollegiate at Brook Valley tournament. So that'll also be the Monday and Tuesday of spring break as well. So both doing good things. Excited for them.
Yeah, I don't need them to get too excited wrapped up in all that spring break stuff. Now, look, it is spring break. They're going to be at the beach and everything. But remember, this is a business trip for y'all golf team. I don't need y'all getting, doing what all these other students that are doing that when they go to the beach. I went to the beach last year. I wasn't indulging, but I know what's going on down there. So be sure to keep your heads clear, stay focused, so we can win that tournament this weekend. We also have our first outdoor track meet this weekend. A lot of people are very excited for it because our track team, I don't know if y'all knew this, but our UWG track team broke 14 records throughout the indoor season. Historic numbers here at UWG. So going into this weekend's Falcon Classic in Montevallo, Alabama. Carly pronounces it differently, but it looks like Montevallo to me.
Let us know in the YouTube comments, is it
Montevallo.
Or Montevallo.
I think it's
Montevallo.
Mon-
I say
Montevallo.
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 I mean,
Oh, yeah, I think we're all split
I think
at this
that's just
table.
that deep South accent
No,
coming out.
I think they're
Montevallo. That's not
losers.
even Southern.
Hey, I like that.
We're having two different
Pronouncing the
conversations.
A like Montevallo. I mean, that's a little.
right, welcome to
that
Montevallo.
is not Southern.
One deep South.
Montevallo.
Let us know which way y'all think.
That
But
is
come
that.
but
Come
either-
on down to Montevallo. You know, you have fun time.
Look, he's great at taking pictures. He's great at
He
taking
can
pictures.
take better pictures than anybody here at Wolf Sports Network. I'll die on that hill.
But getting back on topic, our outdoor track team is kicking off. Yeah, they're getting started this weekend in the Falcon Classic in Montevallo, Alabama.
Oh my gosh.
Whichever way you want to pronounce it, they're going to be running to a track and field down there. Be sure to check them out. If for some reason you're in the area, I don't know where that is, but if you're in the area, go on, take your family with you. Now, Carly, what does that shirt say?
No, we have
What-
some
no, no.
calls on the line.
No, what does, I'm asking
No,
a question.
like,
what
what
does
does
your
the
shirt
shirt
say?
say?
It stood out to me. What does it say?
Lake Como, Italy.
Lake Como, Italy. Is that where Giacomo is from?
No,
That's Carly's long distance Italian boyfriend. by
no,
the way.
it's not.
That is where Giacomo
I
is
say all
from.
this to say that the little quarters.
Don't we have a call, John?
Well,
Don't we have a call?
No, I know where he's going with this. Hold on. He's going somewhere with this.
All I'm trying to say
Trust
is
the process,
the
Carly.
sweater
I
looks
promise.
nice. I'm sure Giacomo loves it, but it would look a whole lot better if you got one of those Wolf Sports Network hoodies.
Ooh.
Because we have just
Whatever.
opened up our brand new merch store. No, listen to Carly. Look, this stuff is out of her tax bracket. She ain't ready to rock this stuff. She doesn't have the facilities to rock this Wolf Sports Network gear. But I know all you watching and listening
Who's been to
definitely do.
Italy and who has it?
Study abroad trip. But
Still paid my way to get there. And have you?
Hold on. Let him
Let's
talk.
not get too personal here. I'm just trying to let the people know that we have an all-new merch store here at Wolf Sports Network. So if you go to our website, wolfsportsnetwork.com, hit about, and click merch store, you will see all the best merch in the land. Some might say better than UWG Outfitters
It's
over there.
fire.
We have Wolf Sports
Ooh.
Network and Wolf Radio merch. We got trucker hats,
Richard's out for
hoodies,
blood today.
shirts, whatever you might want from Wolf Sports Network. And if you want some more stuff, DM us on Instagram at Wolf Sports Network after
Do
you
it.
follow us, and we just might add what you're looking for. Once again, go to wolfsportsnetwork.com, hit about, and click merch store to check out all the great stuff we have. Looks like we do have a call. Carly might have been
I
right
told
about, Carly
you.
might have been right about something today. Sportsback Richard speaking.
Hey, Sportsback. This is Big Pat in Kennesaw with
Let's
the
go.
Players
He's back.
Championship, a.k.a. Fifth Major, going on right now in Jacksonville. What are the chances of Scotty Scheffler taking it for a third year in a row? Or is Rory McIlroy going to take him down? Peace out.
Oh,
Peace out.
Hit us with
Peace
a
out,
peace
Big
out.
Pat.
Love the energy.
Schroeder, I'm gonna let you take it. I'm gonna let you take this one off.
Yeah, I just love Big Pat. I don't know why. He's a pretty cool guy.
Connects with you really well.
Yeah. But man, I like that question. But man, I gotta go with Scotty. I love Scotty. I think Scotty's my favorite guy on the tour right now. And I mean, Rory's all right. Rory's old though. You know, you got to give it to Scotty.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's been a little bit since I've seen Scotty get a win. He's been
Yeah.
kind of battling some injuries.
Also,
so.
Rory's very crash out prone. Did you see earlier
Dude,
today?
what was the
He's
end of
crash
just
out
look at
pro.
the end of the U.S. Open last year?
Well, yeah, but also while being in this championship right now, there was someone either Rory did something, I can't remember exactly. He did something like silly on the tee box, and he saw someone recording it. And after that, after he finished his drive, he went over and took the kid's phone and just walked away with it. Just walked away with
He
it.
just
and
took a kid's phone.
yeah, that's what it was. I saw it today.
That's so funny.
And I was like, wow. I'm like, this is not looking good for Rory. And as of right now, I mean, I know.
I mean, he's at 4 under right now through 16.
Exactly.
Scotty's at 3 under through 17, so they're pretty tight.
Hey.
But I mean, there's some other guys that are.
But the Aussie from Australia, Minwoo Lee, 5 under through the day. Hey, if
he's so
Minwoo,
fun.
if he wins, man, I'll be hyped for Minwoo.
What's his name again?
Minwoo Lee.
Min Woo Lee is an Aussie from Australia.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he looks Asian.
Well, I mean, he sounds Asian too.
Let's go, John.
I mean, if
Thank
we're going
you.
there, I mean,
Thanks for the
That was
clarification.
not
I mean, no,
implied.
seriously, it's the truest thing. If you look at him,
Carly, I really appreciate the clarification. I had no idea.
It takes a little bit for us to get there
Win
sometimes.
Woo Lee, I thought he might have been black. But anyway,
Moving on. Okay, first of all, neither Scotty Scheffler or Roy are even in
They're all within like 2 or 3 strokes right now.
Yeah,
it's round
they're all
one.
tied, so
It's just got a picture.
For those of you that can't see, John just pulled up a picture of Win Woo Lee on the screen. Min Woo Lee,
he
excuse
looks
me.
like a nice guy.
Yeah, they pulled him up on there. He looks like he might got a little bit of brother in him. His dad might be black or something like that. Who knows? Maybe his granddad. It might be a little different.
God.
That nose definitely looks similar to mine, though. Might have some questions to ask when I get back home. But Carly, you carry on.
In terms of some golf news we got going on, Tiger Woods, news came out about him undergoing some Achilles tendon surgery this week. So that's crazy. What do we think about that for Tiger Woods' future?
Yeah, that sucks, man.
I don't know.
That sucks.
I feel like every 2 years there has to be some news about Tiger Woods being hurt somehow. I mean, he's
it's really unfortunate too, man.
It is. I mean, he's such an electric golfer, and like he's one of the greatest of all time. I mean, how many Masters does he have? 5.
That's crazy.
5 Masters is insane. He has some of the most memorable shots in golf history, but he's getting older, right? Yeah. That window of success is closing, and we've kind of seen like he'll shoot one good round and then
it's just done.
And then it's over.
It's injury.
And so now we're at the point like you rupture your Achilles. Ask Kirk Cousins. It takes a lot to come back from that.
And this is his other foot that he ruptured it in. I think as much as I love Tiger, I know he still has that big fire in him. But I think it's time to hang it up.
Hey,
I hate to say it,
TGL though. He made the TGL.
The TGL.
He's going to be able to do that.
He can do that.
He's going to be able to do
but
that.
I think it might be time to hang it up out on the course out of all things compared to the virtual course. It is sad to see.
It definitely might be time, and you really hate to see him go out this way because Tiger Woods is such a great figure. He transcends the game of golf. He took the game of golf to the next level.
He restructured the whole thing.
Yeah, Tiger Woods, his impact on the game is incredible. There's going to be a few 30 for 30s that come out about him in a few years. There's probably already been some. Outside of all the personal stuff, but just focusing on golf.
It's going to be a wide variety.
Right, there's gonna be a series just like The Last Dance for Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And it's gonna show a younger generation just like how that Last Dance showed me how great Tiger Woods really was at his peak.
Yeah.
It's gonna be incredible. I hate to see him go out this way, ruptured Achilles. That's every athlete's worst nightmare.
And we're gonna get Charlie soon though.
Yeah, we are.
We're getting the second coming of him.
People are saying you might see Richard Reed out there soon too.
Hey,
look, I got a few reports. This guy over here has been working on his swing. He's getting things done.
Charlie Woods versus Richard Reed.
Charlie Woods don't want to see me come.
You're gonna win both U.S. Opens,
dude.
I'm just saying.
Golf,
multi-sport
athlete. Golf. I mean, there's nothing I can't do.
Skiing, golf, tennis.
All while being the Falcons GM.
And the Hawks GM as well.
I'm a jack of all trades. I'll get it done. I'm going to leave that Hawks job alone.
Okay, that's fair.
Look,
you mentioned it a while ago.
I thought about it.
You
I
denied
thought
the
about
it hasn't been brought back up.
I'm going to take the Falcons general manager job once Terry has gotten up out of there. We're going to talk about the Falcons a little bit later because Terry is getting on all of our last nerves. He's not making the right moves or the moves that we from our couches at home feel like need to be made.
This is not what we meant when we said edge rusher.
Yeah.
No.
Not at all. But we'll talk about that soon. But yeah, be ready. Give me about 10 years. My golf stroke is going to be ready.
Let's go.
Moving on to the other side of the world, right now we have the Special Olympic World Winter Games going on right now in Turin, Italy. Super cool. They've been going on for the last couple of days, and the last day is Saturday. It's been really cool to see, just the whole aspect of the Special Olympics. I love the story behind it and the message behind it, and getting to see all of these people getting to compete and just do what they love, and I just love it so much.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great thing not only for those with special needs, but for sports in general, right? Like I'm all for growing any sport, and this is able to just bring sports into the lives of so many people who often aren't given the chance to participate in sports. And so it always brings a smile to my face to watch the Special Olympics and just see the positive impact that sports has on everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always a sight. I love seeing it. It really warms my heart hearing those stories. It's nothing shy of incredible. If you haven't checked out the Special Olympics, be sure to check it out. It will really surprise you. It's very entertaining, and like we said, it's really just about the storylines. Obviously, the athletes are out there competing at a very high level, but beyond that, the stories are nothing short of incredible. There isn't a dry eye in the crowd every time they go out there. It's incredible. If you haven't checked it out, be sure to check it out.
Yeah, storylines are sports for sure, which brings us to the new Josh Allen contract, a 6-year extension for $330 million with the Bills.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, he just set a new president. We talked about it a little bit on Monday, but we didn't dive too deep into it. The contract's incredible. What is it, $250 million guaranteed?
He can take me out to dinner if he wants to.
But he's the high. Actually, he's 2025.
His
Maybe
fiance
it's not
moved to
that
the
wild.
South.
But highest paid player in NFL history. It's pretty wild. And then you look at Max Crosby over at the Raiders. He's the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. So the times are changing. The owners are finally starting to loosen up their grip a little bit and give up a little bit of that money that they've been pocketing for years and years on end. And I love to see it. It's great. This isn't Josh Allen's year to get that ring, though. I'm looking at the AFC. Hate to get off track like this. He's going to be paid. Buffalo's going to be a good team, as they always are. But I see a few teams from the AFC really taking that next step. One of the teams our guy behind the class, Daniel, currently has on their jacket. I like the Baltimore Ravens to finally get it done this year. The addition of DeAndre Hopkins might not – the addition of DeAndre Hopkins isn't going to help them do that. He's going to be a nice presence in the wide receiver room. He's not going to – I don't expect him to be vintage D-Hop. Having him there is going to be great. But watch out for them Baltimore Ravens, man. If not now, then when. That's why it has to be now. Sorry to hijack the segment like that, Carly, but I had to get that off my chest. Now, stay tuned. We're going to take a quick ad break. When we get back, we're going to dive into this March Madness tournament, and we also have a big-time NBA debate you are not going to want to miss. Let us down in the live chat. Who do you think is the MVP of the league right now? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or Nikola Jokic? We'll be right back. This is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network.
You are listening to Sports Pack here on Wolf Sports Network, your home for all things UWG athletics.
Hey, do you want to be a part of Wolf Sports Network? Yeah! Well, I have some good news for you because you can join us. Woohoo! So if you want to learn more about this, go to wolfsportsnetwork.com and click WIT Sports Program. With becoming a WIT, you expand your knowledge in the sports radio world and join our ever-growing family.
New face over there. You're not tripping. We got my guy JT over here shadowing the board. He's running through a WIT program right now. Brandon, how you feeling, baby? Welcome to Sports
I'm feeling
Pack.
great being on here for the first time.
And we can't wait to meet you once you join us.
It's a brand new season, and you know what that means. A brand new series.
Bootleg Jackson Cook.
Mark my words, by the end of his career, Nolan Arenado will be better than Chipper Jones.
Jackson Cook.
New short series, exclusively on Wolf Sports Network YouTube.
Bootleg Jackson Cook.
Make sure to like and follow on all socials for more content.
Over the horizon, a new show rises over Wolf Sports Network. To bring light to all things college sports. The Playbook, 6 to 7 p.m. every Tuesday on Wolf Sports Network. The Wolves play here.
Wolf Sports Network is going to have you covered with content for every day of the week, Monday through Friday. Sports Pack is bringing you all the news in the sports world today on Mondays and Thursdays at 6. Sports Out of Pocket is bringing you sports commentary with a comedic twist on Wednesdays at 5. And sit back and relax and grab your favorite snack because Triple Threat is bringing you the chill content on Fridays at 11. And the Playbook is going to be bringing you all of the sports news going on in the college world on Tuesdays at 6. So make sure you're tuning in Monday through Friday for all the content Wolf Sports Network is bringing you this semester.
Starbucks has all the deals all semester. Deals like buy one, get one on the Penguin Cookie, and up to 50% off on all Starbucks tumblers, and a happy hour on Fridays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So before you go to that other happy hour in the evening, be sure to go by Starbucks happy hour from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. for 50% off all refreshers and cake pops. Let's talk some college hoops. Man, we talked about the springtime earlier, but when I tell you it is officially March, we have had basketball on all day with games starting at 12 o'clock, all sort of conference tournaments. But I want to jump into a big-time game that's going on right now in the SEC. The Texas Longhorns and the 14th-ranked Texas A&M Aggies going at it right now, currently in an overtime battle with Texas A&M up 78-74 against the Longhorns. We'll give you a score update at some point throughout this excuse me, I had to burp. At some point during the segment, we're going to give you a score update because this game is going to end at some point while we're discussing it. But this is incredible. The SEC tournament is living up to the hype. We had the Oklahoma Sooners catch fire last night against the Georgia Bulldogs, taking them down, doing exactly the things they need to do to take steps in the right direction towards making the March Madness tournament. And as you see right now, the Texas Longhorns are currently leaving it all on the court, looking to take down the A&M Aggies. So, Lim, first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Go,
Carly tagged out for this segment. My guy Lim, as always, came in for basketball, coming up clutch. So let's start with the SEC tournament. What do you expect to see? Do you think the obvious teams like Alabama or Florida will rise to the top, or do you see a team like Texas, who just made it a 1-point game that's currently 77-78 after hitting a big time 3? Do you see a team like Texas or Texas A&M taking the reins and winning the SEC tournament?
Yeah, I think anything can happen in this tournament, honestly, man. The SEC is so competitive this year with Texas. I think towards the end of this season, they've been figuring some things out. And I think Texas A&M, they've been a great team all year. I really love Wade Taylor and how he's playing. So I think anybody can win the SEC tournament, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, we got Florida, Auburn, teams like who's the other team?
Florida, like Auburn,
Alabama, A&M.
Missouri.
Yeah,
Arkansas just got put out.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
teams
good
like
teams.
you got teams like them in Oklahoma. They just won the other night, and
Ole Miss still floating around out there. They just beat Arkansas.
They just beat Auburn. So man, I think anybody can win it though for sure.
Now, I want to mention another team that just played today. The North Carolina Tar Heels, currently sitting at 22-12 after their big win today in the ACC tournament against Wake Forest, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, as they like to call themselves. North Carolina's been a very interesting topic of conversation because in a lot of circles, people are looking at North Carolina saying, yeah, this is probably going to be one of the first 4 teams out of the tournament. I'm sure a lot of you already know, but if you don't, in this tournament, there's 64 teams overall.
Something like
then there's a first 4 in and a first 4 out. The first 4 teams in playing a quick little tournament that decides who of those 4 move on. Wait, no. Yeah,
you're right.
And who of those 4 really enters the tournament, then the other 4 just aren't in contention. And a lot of people, contrary to what you may think, have North Carolina in their first 4 out. And let me explain to you why. North Carolina is not a tournament team whatsoever. They are 1-11 in quad 1 wins. Quad 1 wins are wins against the cream of the crop. When you play a quad 1 team, you're playing a team like Alabama, like St. John's, like Florida, like Michigan State, these top tier teams in the country. And yes, North Carolina's played a lot of them with 12 quad 1 games, but they are 1-11 in those games. And that 1-11 record, I don't care how many of them you've played. I understand that you're playing quality opponents, but in this tournament, you're going to play quality opponents.
Yeah.
So when I see that they are 1-11 in those 12 games, that right there tells me they don't deserve to be in here because when they're playing quad 2 and quad 3 teams, yep, they dominate, which is why they have 22 wins compared to those 11 out of those 12 of those losses being quad 1. Yeah. But you're not going to be playing those scrub teams in the tournament. You're going to be playing real deal teams. So I don't believe North Carolina deserves to be in. Now, if they win the ACC tournament, by all means, they're in. They get the automatic bid. If you win the conference tournament championship, you're gonna make it. Yep. But if they do not win this conference tournament, which I don't think they will, they should not be. They should not be in this tournament.
My question is who did North Carolina beat in the 12 games of quad 1? Who was the one win?
Let me pull it back up. Somebody keep talking while I pull that up.
Yeah, anyway, I mean, we got North Carolina, right? I mean, even if you look at the ACC, what's the feeling on Cooper Flagg's injury and how that affects Duke's chances, not only in the ACC tournament, but like...
He got hurt?
Yeah, he
got
did.
injured today.
He hurt his ankle early today.
Got wheelchaired out at half and then came back to the bench and sat for the rest of the game.
Real quick, their quad 1 win was against number 18 UCLA towards, in the middle of the season.
Okay.
But they have losses to Auburn, Michigan State, Alabama, Florida. They've played a lot of great teams. But you're talking about Cooper Flagg's injury, correct?
Yes.
I don't know, man. He got hurt earlier today, yes, and I was a little worried, but at the same time, I wasn't, because I was like, this is really just going to show us who this Duke team really is. Because when you have your star player, obviously guys rally around him, but you still have your guy. You still have, like I said, your guy, so you know you're okay, you know you're in good hands, you know you have a guy that at the end of the game is going to step up and make the big shot.
Yep.
But when he went down, Duke was down 12 points at Georgia Tech. Yeah. And I was like, okay. Yeah. I talked a little junk to Brandon Dyer. He's one of the guys that works here at the station. He has a show called The Playbook that comes on Tuesdays from 6 to 7. Be sure to check them out. And he's a Georgia Tech fan. I joked to him. I was like, look, man, y'all lucky Cooper Flagg went down because y'all a little Mickey Mouse win. He was like, yeah, whatever. But they were already down 12 without Cooper Flagg when he went down. But the fact that Duke rallied back, scoring 52 points in the second half to win this game 78-70, that has made me extremely confident in Duke. Because Cooper Flagg walked back out on his own power, but didn't re-enter the game. But obviously he'll be good for the tournament. But when I see this Duke team and how the rest of those guys rallied when Cooper Flagg went down, that has made me even more confident in them going to the tournament. Because now these guys are going to step their game up throughout this ACC tournament to try to win it. And whether they win or lose, they're still going to be a 1 seed. And having Cooper Flagg back, the team's going to be that much better because of his injury.
Absolutely, yeah. So shout out to Duke, man, and we still got other teams in the ACC that's good. Like I mentioned the other day, Clemson, Louisville. I think Louisville plays Stanford tonight, so that's gonna be a good game.
I think I do play a little bit later. Let me see.
Yeah, that thing play at like 9 or 9:30. But
late
hey,
game.
I want to mention this right quick. So we mentioned the SEC and the Big 12. So the SEC currently they have 13 teams going to the NCAA tournament, and I think behind them is the Big 12 at 8. So hey. 2 best conferences in basketball.
Speaking of the 2 best conferences in basketball, I just refreshed the score, and Texas versus Texas A&M is going into double OT.
Cheese and crackers.
They're currently tied up at 79, going into double overtime, and they're really proving that the SEC saying is true. It just means more in every single sport. These guys are battling, scratching, and clawing, going into the second overtime, and this isn't even the finals of the SEC tournament. This is just another game along the way. These guys are going at it. It is incredible, and we really hope to see more great basketball like this tonight. Because we have another big-time game, like you said, in the Big 12, one of the other big-time conferences in the in the NCAA right now, with the number 9 team in the country, the Texas Tech Red Raiders.
Texas Tech Red Raiders.
There we go, Lim. I knew you were going to say it. In the Big 12 championship quarterfinals, taking on the Baylor Bears. Another team that won a national title a few years ago, but that are still uber talented. And a lot of people look at Baylor and think, man, if Baylor gets hot at the right time, this is another team that can really make a deep run into this tournament. But let's take a step back. We don't have to talk about Baylor or Texas Tech right now. We've discussed them before on this show. John.
Yes, sir.
I know you've been checking some things out. You're not the biggest basketball guy in the world, but you love March Madness just like any sane person on this earth would.
Absolutely.
Presley, I'm sure you love March Madness too. So, John, when you're looking at this tournament, what is a team that you're really high on? I don't care if they're a sleeper or if they're just a bona fide stud, overall 1 seed. What is a team that you were just sold on and you really believe with all your heart, you'd bet your house, you'd put your future children on the line and say this team is going to make a deep run in the tournament?
Wow, you put a lot at stake there.
I mean, look, if you're confident, you're confident.
Look, you know what? All it took was one game for me for quite a while ago. And it was Iowa State. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
It was they were dismantling Arizona. You know, it was season's about ready to back up. Of course, now we're in conference play. But it just took me one game. They dismantled Arizona. They beat them by 20.
And Arizona's a good team.
Arizona is a very good team. At the time we were talking about it, they were getting really hot. Yep. But to see them win by, I think it was, I don't remember the exact score, but it was at least double digits. Right. And to see the way that they played, it really sold me. I'm saying they're not going to win the tournament, but they can make a good run. And we know, they're a very good team. I know they had some tough losses later on in the season, but I really like Iowa State. Now, there is one team that I keep hearing about.
And the score you were talking about, they beat Arizona Wildcats 84-67.
Okay.
Big win.
The one team that I keep hearing about, and I just have not looked into it, unless y'all give me the insight, Michigan State. Someone just sell me everything on Michigan State right now.
Somebody across the table from me seems to be a real big Michigan State guy, and it has rubbed off on me.
Michigan State, please.
It rubbed off on me
because you're not buying Michigan State.
I mean, I have nothing against Michigan State, but
what teams are you really bought into going into this tournament?
Okay, the teams that I bought into, I really like Florida. I really like the underdog, like Clemson, like Louisville, the ACC. I really like them. Out of the Big East, I like St. John's, man. St. John's, they just play tough. Rick Pitino,
they're tough.
He's doing a good job over there. So those are the teams I have my eye on. Obviously, we got Auburn and stuff. I just have to see how they play because this is my thing, right? I feel like the game when they played Texas A&M, they lost early this season, right? Like towards the end of the season. I feel like once they got that number 1 seed in the conference, I feel like they lost that game because they were kind of like a days ago because they got that.
Yeah, that's how I feel. They'd already been crowned conference champions. It was Texas A&M senior night. It was like the perfect storm.
Yeah. So I was like, Auburn, like that was kind of questionable. But other than that, yeah, those are my teams, though.
Hey, I can say Florida State will not be making a Cinderella run in the tournament this season, really? Just to go back on what I said on Tuesday. I know, it's surprising. I thought they could have done it, but they did not exit the first round against Syracuse.
All right, so be sure to let us know in the comments in the comments on this YouTube video, or if you're watching live in the live chat, who do you believe will make a big time run this March Madness tournament? We would love to hear from y'all, but we got to talk about some NBA.
Rebound Bosh, back out to Allen, his three-pointer, bang!
baby. Let's talk some NBA. So, recently on Monday's Sports Pack, we were talking basketball as we always do, and I started talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I said, you know what? Other people have had a great season. Guys like Nikola Jokic and all these other cats, they've had great years. But the MVP race is over. I said emphatically it is a wrap, not even just because of voter fatigue, but also because of outright performance, that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the MVP, and they might as well go ahead and give him the award right now. Now, a lot of people out here didn't agree with me. A lot of you people listening to the show didn't agree with me. But a guy that was sitting behind the glass on Monday by the name of Andrew Jefferson, who was one of the co-hosts of one of our great shows here at Wolf Sports Network, Sports Out of Pocket. If you want to hear more from him after you hear from him today, be sure to tune in to Sports Out of Pocket every Wednesday from 5 to 6 right here on Wolf Sports Network. But he didn't like what I said at all. After the show, he walked up on me and said, Richard, I do not agree, and started listing off a list of reasons. So I said, you know what? Why don't you record yourself right now? Matter of fact, I invited him to get onto the show. But he was sick, probably sick of that bad take. I don't know what it was.
It got him good, huh?
He couldn't come in today, but he still wanted to make his presence known. So he sent a message. So here's my good friend and colleague, Mr. Andrew Jefferson.
Richard, my man, look, I gotta call you out for this SGA MVP take because it is delusional. Look, SGA is great, no doubt, but Jokic is averaging a triple-double as a 7-foot center. That's not just MVP worthy, that is historic. The only guys to do it before were high-volume guards, and none of them did it this efficiently. Meanwhile, defenses are triple-teaming Jokic, and the Nuggets still dominate when he's on the floor. You want the advanced metrics? Be my guest. Jokic leads the NBA in overall impact by every measure. The Nuggets are 20 points per 100 possessions better with him, and when he sits, they collapse. And let's not forget, Jokic should already be a 3-time MVP if he wasn't robbed last year. If Westbrook won MVP for a 6-seeded Thunder squad just for averaging a triple-double, how are we even debating when Jokic is doing it as a contender? So Richard, if you want to ride the SGA hype train, be my guest, but do not pretend Jokic isn't the real MVP. The numbers, the history, and common sense all say otherwise. This is Andrew Jefferson from Sports Out of Pocket.
Yeah, he came prepared.
Oh, yeah. He was great. When I listened to that pre-show, I said, he meant that.
You know that he's like fired up, and you can hear the
oh, yeah.
after every sentence.
Oh, yeah, he was ready. But it's okay. Because I stay ready, too, so I ain't got to get ready. I'm always ready.
Oh, let's go, Richard.
So when I'm looking at this, I understand 100% what he said. And by all means, I am not discounting Nikola Jokic, because he said, well, I don't know what he was calling him, but Nikola Jokic is his name. I'm not discounting him in any way. If you had to ask me who's the best basketball player in the world right now, I would probably look at you in the eyes and say Nikola Jokic. There isn't really anybody else on his level right now. He is an incredible player, and what he does leads to the Nuggets' success. They're currently sitting as the number 3 team in the Western Conference right now, tied up with the Memphis Grizzlies. They have the exact same record. But do you know who the 1 seed is? The Oklahoma City Thunder. Ooh. And it's not like it's an arm's reach. They are 12 games ahead of the Denver Nuggets. Ooh. So when I look at Shai and I look at Nikola Jokic, I see 2 similar things here. 2 players that are the catalyst of their team. 2 guys that are willing their team forward. Nikola Jokic is putting up insane numbers, averaging a triple-double, probably in the season averaging a triple-double. And without Jokic on this squad, yes, they have some other guys. They have Russell Westbrook, Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray when he decides he wants to show up. But without Jokic, this team is nowhere near what they really are. But then you look at the Thunder as well, who just so happen to be 12 games ahead of that Nuggets team, with nowhere near the amount of superstar power that the Nuggets team has around Jokic. I'm not discounting them for what they're doing. Like I said, they're nothing without him. But you look at Shai. He's averaging 32 points a game, has over 10 40-point games this season, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and over a steal a game. He's one of the best two-way players in the game, because that's one thing about Jokic. He only plays one side of the ball. Jokic ain't playing no defense. Shai is doing both, averaging almost 2 steals a game. And guess what? Without Shai, this team is nowhere near the level they are too. Their second best player, Jalen Williams. And yes, he's an all-star. He's a very good player in the association. But when you look at him, he's nowhere near Jamal Murray. He's not on the caliber of these other guys. But nonetheless, if you take Shai out of this equation, that team is nowhere near where they are. But he's in the equation. He's right there with them. With Jokic, when Jokic plays, like I said, they're the 3 seed in the West. But who's 12 games ahead of them? The Oklahoma City Thunder. So that's how I'm looking at it. Most valuable player is the name of the award.
Yeah.
So both these players are equally as valuable. Both these players are essential to their team's success. So now I got to look at it as, okay, they're both essential. Now, which team is more successful with that player? It's OKC. They're 12 games above the Nuggets. That is exactly why he gets my vote for MVP. Like I said, they're both equally valuable on their teams, but the Oklahoma City Thunder are a much better team, so I'm going with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
So, are you saying that without Jokic, the Nuggets? Because I'm trying to see. So, without Shai, how would OKC look? Without Jokic, how would the Nuggets look? So, would they be like?
Neither team would be in the top 3 of the West without those players.
Right. I still think Jokic is in that race, man.
He's definitely in the race.
I still think Jokic.
Like, I'm not
is there.
discounting Jokic. I started that off by saying Jokic is probably the best basketball player in the world. But the way I look at the award, most valuable player, I see them both as being equally valuable for their team's success. So now that I see they're both equally valuable, okay, now look, which team is more successful then? The Oklahoma City Thunder. And it's not like it's close. They're 12 games ahead of the Nuggets. You got to go with them.
Right. I mean, like, that's what I said. Like the way you see it and the way the NBA sees it and how they're doing it, if you're the most successful team in the league or one of the most successful teams in the league and you have a player playing at a high level, they're most likely going to give it to that player. So I can see them giving it to Shai in that regard. So, yeah. It's going to happen.
I mean, I like both of these guys, but I think the one thing that could separate Jokic from Shai is the fact that Jokic is top 5 in points, assists, and rebounds. Shai is just at the top of points. He doesn't make the other lists, which is something that you could give, right? You look at the triple-double argument that Andrew had for Westbrook. Westbrook averaged a triple-double. That got him MVP.
Yep.
Jokic is about to average a triple-double. Does it get him MVP? I don't really know. I think there's a great argument for both of them, so it could be either or in my opinion.
Yeah, it's been incredible, and I'm with you. Both guys are in the conversation. Maybe I over-exaggerated when I said this isn't even a race and the race is over, because it's not. It's definitely a race. I see a lot of people, nobody on this show so far has agreed with me. But I still think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the leader. Both players are great. Nikola Jokic is playing amazing. But if I had a vote, I'm going with Shai. And I'm looking in the live chat. I see my guy Andrew, like I said, he's sick. He's not on the show with us. I wish he was able to join us.
He's going crazy.
But he said, Richard, I understand your theory. But based on that logic, then Embiid should have never been considered over Jokic and SGA last year.
I feel like that's.
And I agree with you 100%. I didn't think Joel Embiid should have won the MVP last year. I never said that. Last year, my vote actually would have went to Nikola Jokic. So it's kind of funny that this year I'm going against him. But I'm with you 100%. Joel Embiid never should have won the MVP last year. I would have voted for Jokic last year.
Yep.
But this year, I'm going with SGA. I really believe in what the Thunder are doing, and he's been playing incredible ball. I think it's SGA's award, but I understand the people that feel like it's goes to
Richard,
Jokic.
stand on it, man. Stand on it.
Richard is an understanding man.
Stand on it, man.
Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. John, you got anything before we move on?
No.
Yo, he takes great pictures, though.
Exactly.
I appreciate your honesty, John. Now, stay tuned. I'm going to take a quick song break, but when we get back, we're going to dive into the NFL as today is officially day 1 of this league year. This is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network.
You are listening to Sports Pack every Mondays and Thursdays from 6 to 7, only on Wolf Sports Network. Hey, do you want to be a part of Wolf Sports Network? Yeah! Well, I have some good news for you because you can join us. Woohoo! So if you want to learn more about this, go to wolfsportsnetwork.com and click WIT Sports Program. With becoming a WIT, you expand your knowledge in the sports radio world and join our ever-growing family.
New face over there, you're not tripping. We got my guy JT over here shadowing the board. He's running through the WIT program right now.
Oh.
Brandon, how you feeling, baby? Welcome to Sports
I'm feeling
Pack.
great being on here for the first time.
And we can't wait to meet you once you join us.
Wolf Sports Network and Wolf Radio are coming together for the concert event of the year.
Wolfstock, baby!
That's right, Wolfstock is back with great music and fun games and a great time for everyone around. April 21st, 6 to 9 in the Campus Center Ballroom. So come out for a good time. Wolfstock 2025 is brought to you by Flagship Carrollton, Dine West, The Orchard, Illuminated Productions, and American Pie Pizzeria.
It's a tale as old as time. All good things must come to an end. But this final ride is going to be legendary.
Oh, yeah.
More legendary than this.
Is this the dagger?
And this.
Diggs! Sideline!
So be sure to listen to Triple Threat every Friday starting at 11, only on Wolf Sports Network.
Wolf Sports Network is going to have you covered with content for every day of the week, Monday through Friday. Sports Pack is bringing you all the news in the sports world today on Mondays and Thursdays at 6. Sports Out of Pocket is bringing you sports commentary with a comedic twist on Wednesdays at 5. And sit back and relax and grab your favorite snack, because Triple Threat is bringing you the chill content on Fridays at 11. And the Playbook is going to be bringing you all of the sports news going on in the college world on Tuesdays at 6. So make sure you're tuning in Monday through Friday for all the content Wolf Sports Network is bringing you this semester.
One quick thing before we get started. Our guy Michael is tagging in right now. Like I said, Carly dipped out after her segment, but we got a revolving chair. Lim just came on. And Michael, the first thing I noticed about you today wasn't your hair, wasn't your eyes, it wasn't anything like that. It was that shirt you have on. Georgia Bulldogs long sleeve. Now, on a normal day, I'd love it. My parents met at UGA. I like to say I wouldn't exist without the University of Georgia.
Amen.
But, man, why are you wearing that? We could be wearing some Wolf Sports Network apparel from our all-new merch store. You know, all you got to do is go to wolfsportsnetwork.com, click About, and hit Merch Store, and get anything you want. A T-shirt, a sweatshirt, a nice trucker hat, whatever you want. Come on, man. Go to the Wolf Sports Network Merch Store. Now let's talk some NFL. In the NFL, only one thing matters. Chasing a dynasty. Now look,
you okay?
I took like a really quick bathroom break in that ad break. I was running. It didn't hit me until like 30 seconds before. I said, okay.
Set the new world
We
record.
got to make this quick. I took off outside, took off back, and came back with still some time to spare. That's why I'm a little winded right now. But it doesn't matter. It does not matter. You know why? Because the new league year has started in the NFL, and all sorts of moves have been made so far this year. But the first thing I want to start with is Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
Who was recently announced that he was the LA Rams were looking for trade partners for Cooper Kupp, but they weren't able to find anybody. Nobody was really interested in taking on that big-time contract. So now the LA Rams have released Cooper Kupp. So it's open season. Cooper Kupp is officially a free agent. He could sign anywhere at any moment. So I want to open it up to you all. Michael, I want to start with you. Where do you think is the best fit for Cooper Kupp?
I honestly think I would love to see him in Buffalo.
Okay, Buffalo's nice.
I know they got Cooper and Keon Coleman. I think will eventually get better and be what they drafted him to be.
Yeah, he's gonna be solid.
But I think that if you just gave Josh Allen just another really good weapon like that, and to fit him in, because they haven't, the time he's been there, they had Diggs, obviously. And then this past year, I don't feel like they really had a real wide receiver one. Like when Cooper got there at the deadline, he kind of took that to a degree. But
he really never turned into a bona fide wide receiver one.
Exactly. But if he has a legit wide receiver one, like with Cooper Kupp, like that's terrifying to think about for the Bills if that were to happen.
I can see that. John?
You know what? Just from looking at it, I think the Denver Broncos, why not get a really experienced receiver out there? I mean, he's a mastermind of a route runner. I was looking at this morning on Instagram how he created a whole new route, and it made Kevin O'Connell install it in Minnesota because of Cooper Kupp. And why not just take that veteran presence and put him on the field with Bo Nix, such a young guy? Right. It could be a really lethal weapon for him to have. I mean, you don't have to give him all the money in the world, well, even though he wants a lot of money. But I think it'd be a great fit over there.
I really like that a lot. I've been thinking about a lot of teams. I hadn't even thought about Denver, and I could see it. They've been very aggressive in free agency so far. Add them to that receiver room with Cortland Sutton and a very young Bo Nix who's getting a lot better. They've already been building up that defense around him. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, I'm thinking about a team that's like redone their offense in this offseason. They just traded away their big-time wide receiver, and they released their franchise wide receiver. I'm looking at the Seahawks here.
Oh, yeah.
The Seahawks, they could use a receiver to go alongside JSN. So, I mean, if I'm the Seahawks, I'd go out and get Kupp.
You know, y'all, these are all very, very good options here. And the one team I was thinking about, and he's probably not really too keen on thinking about, is the Dallas Cowboys. I look at them. They have made absolutely zero moves so far this offseason. People are really criticizing Jerry Jones.
Does Jerry know it's the offseason?
Can't tell. They re-signed their long snapper, so they didn't make one move.
Okay.
I think they brought in Javonte Williams, the running back from Denver, but nonetheless, they haven't made the splashes that they needed to make to revamp their roster. He's definitely still sleeping.
Yeah.
So why not start and giving Dak Prescott some help? Because right now, the only solid receiver you have is CeeDee Lamb. Now, he's a top 5 receiver in the league, but he can't do it by himself. They're just going to roll the safety over there trying to take him out of the game.
Saw what happened last year when he tried to do it by himself.
Exactly. So why not go out and get a super experienced guy like Cooper Kupp to give Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb some help? I like these other options, though, so who knows? Do the Cowboys really want to get into a bidding war? History says no, Jerry Jones isn't a fan.
But they got the cap space now.
Right. Only time will tell. Now let's pivot and talk about another team whose fan base isn't really happy about their behavior so far this free agency cycle. That's the Atlanta Falcons, man. People are very underwhelmed. There were a lot of big-time names like DJ Reed, Charvarius Ward, Myles Garrett, guys that the Falcons fans were really expecting the Falcons to get. Guys like me. I was expecting the Falcons to go out and get some of these guys. And I am very disappointed in Terry Font. I know the Falcons general manager. They haven't traded or released Kirk Cousins. I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't know. Somebody make sense of it for me. Michael, walk us through it, man. What do the Falcons need to do, and what are they doing right now?
I mean, we're talking about trying to redo 60 years of awfulness.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just 60 years of just. It's the worst It's like the worst franchise ever. Like, in terms of just the way that they operate, the way they run. I'm a Falcons fan, but it's just a train wreck every year.
Yeah.
You got this situation where you release Grady, which I didn't hate because it does open up cap space.
Yeah, I wasn't too mad at that.
And they made a couple moves that I didn't hate. I liked a couple. I liked getting Leonard Floyd. I liked getting Mike Hughes back.
Mhm.
And the Mike Ford thing, I think, is an underrated signing, too. I don't hate that.
I do agree with that.
But when you've created such a problem for yourself, and then like you said, the Kirk Cousins situation, you have the most expensive backup quarterback in the NFL right now,
ever.
and like the fact that he's coming up to press conferences and he's just like very content to deal. Like that just blows my mind that we have a GM that's like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah, it just is what it is.
Dude, like I've been a critic of Terry for a while. Y'all know that. In my opinion, I still think the Penix pick was stupid. Like, I mean, it's great. It worked out for us.
Right.
But that was a dumb
But
pick.
at the time, it didn't make much sense.
It still wasn't a smart pick. And, I mean, how many years have we been saying we just need to go get an edge rusher and then we'll be good?
It's been a while.
Exactly.
This is like, what, year 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Something like that.
And this is not what we mean when we say edge rusher, Terry. Like, going out and get depth pieces, that's great. Go out and get that guy that we need.
A dude.
We've been doing depth pieces for years. Just get somebody. And he's just not doing that. He's just, in my opinion, he's just not a good GM.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens. We got a whole lot of offseason left before we really get going. And also the NFL draft is coming up on April 24th. Our guy John's birthday.
Hey.
But it's also draft day.
go.
So we're going to see what the Falcons do in the draft. They have the chance to make some pretty big-time picks because we have a lot of edge rushers. Got guys like Mike Green, Mykel Williams, James Pierce, and Nicholas Scorton. There are a lot of good big-time names in this draft class. So let's see if Terry makes up for this slow start to the offseason right then.
There is one question because I've been seeing it all through social media. What happens? What would y'all think if the Falcons took a safety in the first round? I've been reading about it. I've seen a lot of posts about it. They are big on Malachi Starks. That's one thing. They're huge on
Everyone
Malachi.
should be big on Malachi Starks.
He's a good
safety in the draft.
but he's not an edge rusher.
If that 15 pick is a safety, even if it's not Malachi Starks or it's something like a DB, on a scale of 1 to 10, you're gonna be what? 10 to the roof?
John, can I ask John a question?
Yeah,
real quick.
Go
so
crazy.
John,
Yes.
What if Michael just stabbed me in my leg?
I
and then I was
going.
like, okay, I know just what to do. I grab a Band-Aid and put the Band-Aid on my forehead.
Yeah.
What would you say to that?
Yeah, I see what you're saying here.
Yeah,
exactly.
The only way that I would be fine if we took a defensive back in the first round is if we
sign Trey Hendrickson.
Right.
On our defensive line. And we know that it's not like, oh, there's rumors that they could go get Trey Hendrickson. It's Trey Hendrickson is in Atlanta.
He's officially
put
signed.
pen to paper. If he has not done that, if we do not have a bona fide star as an edge rusher, then there's no reason that we should not be picking Mike Green at 15.
Right, but even then, even if you do get Trey Hendrickson, so you don't need to go edge rusher in the draft, safety is not a position you need to address.
It's corner.
You need to go get another corner to go on the opposite side of A.J. Terrell.
Yeah.
That's been the weakness of this team so far. Obviously, edge rusher's a big piece as well. Linebacker got better as the year went on. But if you do address the need for edge rusher, the Falcons need to go corner. So once again, instead of putting the Band-Aid on my forehead, I put the Band-Aid on my middle finger, and then I showed I showed Terry my new accessory.
Amen.
Now, before we end off the show, let me just address one other situation. The New York Jets. They dropped Aaron Rodgers, went out and signed Justin Fields. How do y'all feel about that signing?
I love that signing.
I think it was really smart. I mean, you go get a young quarterback. You want a guy who wants to be in the starting position, who's really trying to reprove himself. So I think you're paying him to get a little bit of money, not going to lie, for a 2-year deal. But at the same time, for him, it's your opportunity. Go out there and try to take this thing to glory because You got a great head coach behind you. I think Aaron Glenn, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Aaron Glenn.
He's a great.
Came over from the Lions.
He's a defensive mind.
Defensive mind, but I think he's a great coach. And you know what?
Yeah.
They're gonna if you do decent your first year, they're gonna go all in on it. And I say run with it. I think it's a great signing for him.
I like it a lot for both sides, really,
I
because
agree.
with Justin Fields last year, I didn't really understand why
it was
they
confusing.
benched him for Russell. I mean, I thought he was playing really well.
He was 4-1.
Exactly. I don't know what the deal was with that.
He was too far above 500.
And then with the Jets roster, there's still a lot of talent on that roster. It's a very especially defensively, that's a very talented team. And for Justin going into a situation with talent. And also with a team that they're not going to have that huge expectation on him either. So there's not he doesn't have to feel like he has this much pressure on top of him.
Right.
But he still has a really good team around him to get better.
I agree with you 100%, Michael. I really think it's a great fit for Justin Fields. Going to let him, like you said, get his feet under him. He's going to really be able to develop and turn into a good quarterback. Because he just turned 26 years old.
Yeah,
we've seen a lot of quarterbacks in recent years. Geno Smith was a lot older when he made his resurgence. Sam Darnold just made his. And like y'all were saying, it's a low-stakes situation. People aren't expecting him to come in and win the Super Bowl year one. They're not expecting much from the Jets. He's reuniting with his college teammate Garrett Wilson. They were electric together.
Yep.
He's got Breece Hall. He's got a young head coach a new head coach in Aaron Glenn that believes in him.
A little bit younger at least.
Right, it's going to play to his skill set. And like you said, it's low risk. So just go in there, have fun, let loose, win some football games. I think they could be a 7-8 win team this year. And that's with Justin Fields playing some really good ball. Their next offseason, they're going to be like, okay, look, I think we got our guy. Adds more pieces around him, and then we'll see what the Jets do. But I really like this signing. I think Justin Fields can really blossom with this Jets team, give them a breath of fresh air, if you will. I think it can work out really, really well. Now, real quick, before we end off the show, Schrader's been wanting to talk about one team for a while. We don't have that much time. But walk us through the Chicago Bears, a team a lot of people really aren't thinking about as a team that can really make waves next year.
Yeah, when I look at the Bears, man, they were a team that they've just been in purgatory forever. They've been doo-doo for a while.
Yeah,
if we're being honest.
Double doink doo-doo.
I think Justin Fields would have been a whole lot better a lot sooner if he wasn't on the Bears. But you got to look at the Bears right now, and if you're not paying attention to what they have done this offseason, then you need to start looking at them because a lot of people were looking at the draft, and I've always said that they should go get Genty, right? Because you put Genty behind Caleb Williams, if they can build that offensive line,
that'd be great.
That'd be crazy.
Two-headed monster of DeAndre Swift and Ashton Genty, that'd be wild.
And everybody that I've said that to, they're like, yeah, that's great, but they got to fix this offensive line before they do anything. That's what they're going to do in the draft. Well, what have they done before the draft? They got Joe Thuney and I think Jonah Johnson, which are two.
Andrew Allerman from the Falcons.
Exactly. So they have stacked their offensive line.
They rebuilt the offensive line overnight.
And Caleb Williams had a pretty solid rookie year behind one of the worst offensive lines I've ever seen.
Yep.
So if you give him a good offensive line and you go draft Genty, you still got Keenan Allen on that team. You got some studs on that defense.
DJ Moore, Rome Odunze at wide receiver.
Yeah. I mean, they're not in the easiest division.
Not at all.
But they could make some noise next year.
Right, and real quick, their new head coach is Ben Johnson.
Oh, yeah. He's pretty good, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Former offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. You saw what he saw with a really good receiver room and two big-time running backs, so I'm with you, Schrader.
And those play calls?
Oh, yeah, incredible.
Look what he did to Jared Goff. I mean...
Exactly. Now you got a guy like Caleb Williams, uber talented, some of the most upside we've ever seen from a prospect. Watch out for those Bears, because if that offensive line even improves 10%, they're going to be a much better team than they were last year. Now, that's all the time we have for Sports Pack tonight. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Remember, we will not be live next week because it's our spring break, but we'll be back the week after that on Mondays and Thursdays as per usual. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I'm Richard Reed for John Howley, Jackson Schrader, Michael Miller, Presley over here. Carly was on the show earlier. Lim came on and talked some basketball as well. So did Andrew Jefferson. We had us about the whole cast.
Big Pat. He was here too.
Big Pat was here. Shout out to Daniel on the TriCaster. Everybody held it down tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Bless up.